Greetings, Nerd Herd family. It's your girl, the dopest nerd. Unfortunately, 2025 has gotten off to a very violent start. Around the country, we have had a multitude of violent events which all seem to have culminated on the 1st and the 2nd of the year. There is a lot of speculation about what is going on. However, because these things have just occurred, the investigations are still taking place, and so there is not definitive information. I bring to you a story about a shooting in the New York City area. On January 1st, in the borough of Queens, New York, at about 11:18 p.m., 90 people were at an event space, a private event space, inside of a nightclub called Amazura, one that I'm very familiar with in the New York area. And there were about 15 people online. There was a memorial service for a teen who was previously shot and unalived in the fall of 2023. This event gathering was a memorial service which commemorated his 17th birthday. The young man was Terrion Mungo of Brooklyn, New York. Unfortunately, there were about 15 people waiting in line because the venue was at capacity, and so the people in line were waiting for some people to leave so that they could go in and pay their respects and honor their lost friend. Unfortunately, about 3 to 4 men walked up on foot and began shooting. The evidence markers display 30 shell casings found at the scene, which left 10 people struck by gunfire. Of the 10 people, 6 were females and 4 were males, and they ranged in age between 16 and 20 years old. Thankfully, all of them were transported to the hospital in an expedient amount of time, and they are said to have non-life-threatening injuries, and the doctors expect him to make a full recovery. To God be the glory. By the grace of God, this is not an unaliving story. However, after opening fire, they said the gentleman ran around the corner into an unmarked light-colored sedan and took off. As I said, it was 30 shots, the evidence markers displayed, and this is not considered to be terrorism. However, terrorism by the definition of the powers that be. For too long in our communities, this is terrorism. These are terroristic acts. To come into a community and have such a lack of respect for your community members, the lives of others, families who would grieve the loss of their family members, to open fire and to randomly take innocent victims. And listen, no one should be struck by gunfire, but to come in and take innocent victims in a casualty of war for which they have not participated in is just a disgusting thing. And it saddens me this 25 years later to be discussing something like this. I am very saddened that at a time of the year where people are still creating resolutions and deciding what their goals are that they want to put in place for that year, this is how we have to start, with unexpected and horrific tragedy. Although the doctors say that they will make a full recovery, that is still 10 direct lives that are affected and impacted by gun violence, not the least of which their families and friends. And imagine the toll that this will take on them, especially given the fact that they were at this event facility commemorating the life of a lost friend who was themselves 16 when they were taken last fall. This has to stop. There has to be something that can be done to mitigate and to help people understand. I don't care how bad the situation is. This notion that the only answer for anger or disappointment is through gun violence is unacceptable, and it has to stop. And I, for one, am going to continue to do everything that I have to do, including the docuseries that I created, SHOT, the acronym Survivors Helping Others Through, to ensure that no other parent has to have this dastardly call come into their phone to tell them that their child was either injured by gun violence or taken from us too early. We have got to learn emotional regulation and how to settle disagreements. We will always have disagreements. That will exist until the end of days. But this is not the way that they have to be settled, especially among young people or people of any age for that matter. Gun violence is a pervasive scourge on this world, and it must come to an end if we are to have any modicum of decency and civility in this world. As you all know, or those of you that know of my personal experience with this subject, my firsthand experience with surviving gun violence, I've just made my 25-year anniversary, and it is not an easy experience to endure. I was 29 when I was affected by it. Trust me, a 16-year-old and through 19-year-old or through 20-year-old is not prepared for the impact of what this calls for. And this is why I do what I do. It is my sincere duty to honor the time that the Most High gave me on this earth to help correct all of the wrongs that have taken place because of and due to the continued experience of gun violence. I want to send my condolences and my sincere prayers and well wishes to the families that were impacted by this situation in Queens, New York on January 1st, 2025. We at the Dopest Nerd and Shot are here for you. If you have questions, concerns about the effects of recovering from gun violence and what to expect, please reach out to us at thadopestnerd@gmail.com, and it will be our sincere pleasure to help you navigate the road ahead. We wish you a speedy recovery. We are praying for you, and we thank you for holding on and keeping up the fight. It is not easy. You are just getting into the thick of it. Once the cameras are gone, will be the hard part. Please know that you don't stand alone. We are here for you, and it is our sincere desire to assist you in your healing journey. From our Dopest Nerd family to yours, we salute you and we hold you in prayer. Until we speak again.